Hi y'all, welcome and welcome back to this video, an introduction to American pragmatism. When people hear the word philosophy, they often imagine abstract ideas, distant from everyday life. American pragmatism turns that assumption upside down. Born in the United States in the late 19th century, pragmatism insists that philosophy should start with experience, not speculation. Ideas matter, the pragmatists argued, only if they help us live, solve problems, and grow as individuals and communities. It is a philosophy rooted in action, shaped by democracy, and dedicated to making thought useful in the world. Pragmatism emerged during a period of enormous change. Industrialization was transforming the economy, science was reshaping how people understood nature, and democracy was expanding, though unevenly, to include new voices. Philosophers like Charles Sanders Peirce, William James, John Dewey, and Jane Addams asked how philosophy could respond to these challenges. They sought a method that combined the rigor of science with the moral vision of democracy. Instead of seeking eternal truths, they turned their attention to how ideas work, how they guide human action and adapt to changing conditions. Charles Sanders Peirce, often considered the founder of pragmatism, introduced the idea that the meaning of any concept lies in its practical effects. If you want to know what truth, justice, or freedom mean, look at what difference they make in real life. For Peirce, truth was not a fixed property, but the eventual outcome of a community of inquiry, a collective process of investigation guided by evidence and open discussion. William James brought these ideas into the public imagination. For James, pragmatism was a philosophy of experience and possibility. He defined truth as what works, not in a shallow utilitarian sense, but in a deeper sense that ideas become true when they successfully help us navigate reality and improve human life. Truth, in this sense, is lived, not merely known. John Dewey extended pragmatism into social and political life. For Dewey, philosophy was not an ivory tower pursuit, but a form of intelligent problem solving. He saw ideas as instruments, tools we use to engage with the world, learn from consequences, and revise our beliefs when necessary. Dewey's instrumentalism emphasized experimentation and adaptability. We grow through reflection on experience, not through passive acceptance of dogma. Jane Addams' theories focused on democracy and education, emphasizing social engagement and practical experience. Her work contributed to the American pragmatism movement by integrating activism and social philosophy, particularly through the foundation of the Hull House in Chicago, which became a model for social work, community welfare, and community organization. At its heart, pragmatism is a philosophy of experience. Knowledge arises not from detached contemplation, but from active participation in the world. When we test our ideas against experience, we see what holds up and what needs revision. In this way, truth becomes a process and not a product. It's always provisional, it's always open to correction as inquiry continues. The pragmatists believe that progress, scientific, moral, and social, depends on this ongoing cycle of reflection and adaptation. Peirce compared the search for truth to a long-term experiment conducted by a community of thinkers. James described truth as something that happens to an idea when it proves itself useful. Dewey, meanwhile, argued that democracy itself is a form of philosophy in action, a method of collective inquiry aimed at solving shared problems. One of the most distinctive and controversial aspects of pragmatism is its understanding of truth. For pragmatists, truth is not correspondence to some abstract reality out there. Instead, truth is what we arrive at when our ideas, tested in experience, continue to work and withstand critical scrutiny. In Peirce's terms, truth is what would ultimately be agreed upon at the end of inquiry by a community of investigators. This view unsettled traditional philosophers who wanted certainty and permanence. Critics accused the pragmatist of promoting relativism, of reducing truth to whatever happens to be useful. But the pragmatists reject this charge. They argued that truth is not arbitrary. It is disciplined by evidence, reasoned, and the ongoing conversation of an open-minded community. The test of truth is not convenience, but coherence and success in practice. Pragmatism is more than an epistemology, it's a social philosophy. John Dewey, in particular, saw democracy as the fullest expression of pragmatic ideals. In a democratic society, people learn by engaging with one another, testing ideas, and revising them in light of new experiences. Democracy, like inquiry, depends on communication, participation, and growth. It's not simply a system of government, but a way of life grounded in mutual respect and continuous learning. In this sense, pragmatism offers a hopeful vision of human potential. It reminds us that progress comes not from rigid systems, but from creative adaptation. Every idea, no matter how established, remains open to improvement. Every person, no matter their station, contributes to the shared project of inquiry and understanding. In our complex, rapidly changing world, pragmatism remains deeply relevant. Whether in politics, education, or technology, we face constant challenges that require flexibility, dialogue, and experimentation. The pragmatic approach encourages us not to ask, is this idea absolutely true? But instead to ask, does this idea help us to build a better world? By linking truth to practice and thought to action, pragmatism bridges the gap between knowing and doing. It teaches that philosophy is not a luxury, it's a living method for engaging the world intelligently and humanely. As John Dewey put it, philosophy recovers itself when it ceases to be a device for dealing with the problems of philosophers and becomes a method for dealing with the problems of men. Pragmatism, in that sense, is the philosophy of doing, of testing, revising, and growing towards greater wisdom and shared flourishing. Alright, y'all, that's all for now. If you're interested in more videos on American pragmatism, philosophy, or ethics, check out the videos posted on our channel. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.